Fire Emblem has always been about resource management. Making do with what you've got, not what you want, is core to the experience. But how do we make the most with what we've got? How can someone new to Fire Emblem Heroes manage their own resources? To answer that question, we need to talk about the economy of Fire Emblem Heroes. I expect that the veteran players among you will know most of this already. The first thing we want to do is separate resources that matter from resources that don't. We do this to overcome some basic free-to-play psychological tricks, namely the way a lot of games hide resource bottlenecks. What do I mean when I say a resource is a bottleneck? Well, it's a resource that stops you from making progress until you acquire more of it. Cutting off resources is inconvenient. Monetizing convenience is how a lot of free-to-play games make money, so the economies of these games are often designed with bottlenecks in mind. One of the most common ways to bottleneck the player is to create tiers of currency and then make all of them important. The idea here is simple. No matter what you do, you need both premium and basic currencies to make progress. Games are often set up such that when one is plentiful, the other is in short supply. This drives spending to overcome the inconvenience. The good news for us is that the economy of Fire Emblem Heroes is simple and straightforward. It still has bottlenecks, but they're transparent and obvious. Like I said at the start, we need to separate out resources that are valuable from resources that aren't, and we need to identify where the bottlenecks are. Here are the resources that I think are the most valuable, in no particular order. They're valuable because they're functional. Orbs, for example, can do almost anything. Feathers feed into all of our unit management systems. Coins can upgrade seals, stones or dew can upgrade weapons, and so on. Identifying value is the easy part. Like I said, the economy of Fire Emblem Heroes isn't that complicated. Orbs and feathers are at the top of the totem pole, and the inventory screen itself is pretty much sorted by value for you. Next, we need to figure out where the bottlenecks are. In Fire Emblem Heroes, there are a few main bottlenecks. Everything in the game relates to or is affected by summoning, so orbs, the currency that we use to summon, is the gatekeeper for most of our progression. We can't even spend feathers, for example, without having units first, nor can we upgrade weapons or even spend shards. There is no meaningful path for progression that won't run into the orb barrier. Using your orbs efficiently, therefore, is the single most important thing you can do. The second bottleneck comes in the form of time gating. We have lots of time-gated and partially time-gated resources, feathers, stones, and coins chief among them. These resources aren't stopping you from acquiring units, but without them you're prevented from making your units more powerful. Even though most of our feathers come from the arena, it is worth noting that feathers can be farmed. Grinding hero merit does let you earn them over time, it's just slow. Our last bottleneck is stamina and dueling swords. These are resources that many veterans have outgrown, either with piles of stamina potions or teams that can clear the arena. However, they do come up every once in a while. Okay, let's turn these observations into some practical advice for brand new players. First things first, don't just throw your orbs at every banner that comes up. The value isn't there. We do get a lot of orbs, but we also spend a lot of orbs. If we assume that a specific 5-star focus unit will take around 130 orbs to pull, and we get around 200 per month, then your odds of pulling something awesome on every banner are really low. Second, don't just focus on 5-star exclusive units. It's nice to have cool exclusive units from banners, but your mergeable units will get a lot more use in the long term. There is an exception here, of course. If you're a big fan of a character, summon for them. Not everything needs to be about optimization, and the game ends up being more fun when you're playing with characters you like. Third, be deliberate with skill inheritance and time-gated resources. Units have a real cost in terms of orbs, so if you waste SI, it's basically the same as wasting orbs. Passing along Fury 2 instead of Fury 3 from a Hinata just because you're missing 2,000 feathers really isn't worth it. For stones and coins, don't just spend them because you have them. Spend them after thinking about what you want to use them for. It's kind of corny, but making a list of the upgrades you want and the order that you want them in can keep you on track. Fourth, earn every reward that you can when they're available. Take the time to do your quests every day. Try and do well in the arena. When events like the Tempest Trials and Voting Gauntlet are around, score well for extra rewards. Make sure that you're earning hero merit too. Even if you aren't grinding it intentionally, cycle through your roster and use everyone for free feathers. Finally, spend real money carefully. It doesn't go nearly as far as you expect. The gambling element of a gacha is part of what makes it fun, but it can lead to lots of money spent in a very short time. Besides, as far as mobile games go, Fire Emblem Heroes is playable and can be very fun without spending any cash at all. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. You can find me on Twitter at DireThunderYT, so feel free to send me cool stuff or just drop by to say hello. As always, I hope to see you next time. Take care.